What's up, my fellow devs, and welcome back to the Dev Shops. So today we're going to learn how to set up a blend space inside of Emotion Effects. Now, as you can see, I have been tweaking the scene so that I can better have a visual representation of something cool or nice looking when we do tutorials. So as you can see, we have our player, some boxes, that's for the tutorial. And here we are. We have the dynamic vegetation system. I have some biometric fog, which is giving us some biometric lighting. I have blockers and I have roads, some objects from the starter game. I'm going to actually get rid of that. As you can see, putting some light, just playing around with some different things. I even have high quality shadows on the player, as you can see, very lightly. You'll see it better when we're inside of the actual environment probe, which is actually making it dark inside of this area. So, a couple things that you'll be using when you're making a game inside of Lumberyard. We'll be going over a lot of those things in the future. Most of the things you guys already know about if you've been around on my channel for a while. But yeah, before we get started, do not forget to check out Discord. If you guys want to support the channel, do not forget to check out Patreon, PayPal, all that stuff is in the description below. Don't forget to follow me on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would keep up with me outside of Discord or YouTube. That'd be awesome. But let's get right into the video. So as you can see here, I've actually set up, my things within layers and things like that. So I have my player selected. And if I was to go over to the right, we see that we have a setup, very familiar from previous videos. If you guys do not know how to set up a character using emotion effects in actors, check out this video series here, which we did a few weeks ago, or a few months ago rather, which would explain how to get you set up with four-way movement, and then come back to this video to how to turn that four-way movement into a blend space. All right, so we're gonna go to our movement script canvas a little later. Let's open up our animation graph. As you can see, I don't have anything in my graph, so I'm gonna make sure I open up my right workspace. Here we are, and there's nothing here. So first thing I want to do, since we're going to be using blending, we need to actually add a blend tree, as we cannot add a blend space outside of a blend tree. Maybe you can do it inside of a state machine, I'm not sure, but I know for sure that you can do it inside of a blend tree. So let's grab the blend tree, and I'm going to call this movement blend tree. All right, let's open that up. We have a final node. Now, if we go over to blending, we have different options. And what we want is the blend space 2D. So I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna actually connect these two here. And as you can see, we have an X, Y in place. So if I click on the blend space, I'm gonna call this BS for blend space. Locomotion. All right, I'm going to actually detach this because I have a small monitor right now. So I'm going to detach. All right, and click on that blend space again. There we go. All right, so we have different things. I'm going to click on in place. I don't really need to retarget, but I'll leave it on there in case you wanted to add another character really easily to use the same emotion effects graph. So we have the calculation method for the x-axis as well as the y-axis, and we're going to leave that to be automatic. And then we have evaluators for the axis. So for x, we have a couple of options. What I'm going to use is the velocity. So I'm going to use, for the x-axis, it's the left and right velocity. That's moving left to right. And for the y-axis, which is the front of us, is going to be our walking forward and walking backwards. I'm going to select the front and back velocity. All right, and then we need to select our motions. So I'm going to hit this plus sign here and make sure that you have 4 motions at least. 5 motions. An idle, and then a walk left, walk right, walk forward, walk back. Now, if you're pressed for animations, maybe you don't know how to animate, or maybe you can't get around to free animations. Well, that sounds weird. Maybe you can't get a hold of some animations. You can do this as well with just 4 or 3 animations, actually. If you have an idle, a walk right, and a walk forward, you can reverse those 2 animations to fit the walk left and the walk back. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and add. We're actually picking from the wrong set. So basic movement. There we go. Now plus, and I want my idle, walk left, walk back, walk forward, and walk right. Hit OK. Now we have our 5. So it's determined based off values. If you're coming from something like Unreal or definitely Unity with Mechanim, this should be pretty familiar with for you. So for idle, we're gonna leave it at 0, 0 on the X and the Y, obviously, right? So for our walk left, that's negative. So on the X, we're gonna do -1 and leave the Y at 0. Walk back, that's also negative. So on the Y, which is our forward and backwards, we're gonna do -1 as well. And for our walk forward, that's gonna be our positive on the Y. So 1 here. For our right, it's gonna be the positive as well. So 1 in the X, 0 in the Y. And that is our blend space. So if I redock this, let's go there. I'm gonna redock that. If I double click on the locomotion, we get our graph. As you can see, we have 4 points, well 5 points if you count the idle. And if I grab this red button here and click, and I go up to the 1, he walks forward, back down, walks backward, walk right, walk left. As you can see, it's like a good blend. Also for the sync mode, I'm going to put it on full clip based, just so we get the full range of motion with our animations. All right, so now let's hook this up so that we can do some math, or sorry, some setting inside of our script canvas. So as you can see here, we have our X and Y values, which is what we set inside of the blend space. So we need to create 2 parameters to match that. So let's go ahead and add a parameter, and we're going to call it horizontal, and say this control left. Can I spell? Obviously not. Jesus. Oh my gosh. Goodness. All right, so I'm going to copy that. Our minimum, we're going to set that to -1. So we're only creating 2 parameters instead of 4. All right, go to create another one. I'm going to call this one vertical. And this is going to be the forward and backwards. All right, also give it a minimum of -1, not -10, sorry. Create. All right, and then we're going to right click inside of the graph, go to create node, sources, parameters, and it's already going to be set for us. So just going to say movement parameters. And it's already set up properly, so horizontal to the X, vertical to the Y. All right, so now if I was to do the horizontal, he walks to the right, walks to the left. Zero that out. Vertical walks forward. So let's zero that out. Zero that out. If we go back, we have that set. Let's go ahead and hit save. Hit OK. All right, and it's saving, so let it save. All right, save right there. All right, so now we have that. So inside of your movement, you guys already have some kind of movement script going from a previous tutorial or your own workings. So we're going to open it up. And the only thing that you really want to make sure that you're doing for your forward, that you're setting the name parameter when you release it to 0, and make sure that it's on the vertical. And the same thing for when you're holding it to move forward, you're setting it on the vertical to 1. So do that for all of your movements. So as you can see, we have vertical at 0 for the backwards movement, and we have it set to -1 to move backwards, and the same thing goes for left and right. So as you can see here, we have right, left, horizontal, horizontal, 0, 0, and horizontal, horizontal, -1 for left, +1 for right. All right, so make sure you save that graph once you're done. And once you do, once I hit play, we have our idle and we have our walking. Walk left, walk right, walk backwards. Now I'm going to turn and walk inside of here. As you can see, our high quality shadow at the bottom of the feet shows up better inside of the environment probe. So proper movement, our blend space is working. We have it working with the script canvas. All is well. But that's the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. That is how we set up a blend space, a very simple blend space of a 4-way movement. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to join the Discord. Other than that, hope you guys are having a very dope day. Hope you guys are prospering in your projects. And until next time, keep developing.